Hi everybody, welcome back to another airbrushing step by step. Here's some of the products we are using in today's video. So they're the products we're using in today's video, guys. We've got a monochrome portrait. I'm going to use the FW Sepia. I really like this colour. It thins down really nice and you can lay it down. It just goes down really, really well. And that's why I wanted to do this portrait today in this colour. So we're going to use one tone and we're going to make that tone work for us and go darker where we need to go darker. And then we'll create it to go lighter just by using the brush at different distances. So the brush we're using today is the Iwata Custom Takumi on a 018. Really like this brush for the control that it's got. It's got very nice control on laying the paint and atomising it. The trigger is by far one of the comfiest to work with. The response is brilliant. It just all comes together when you pick it up and you are working on something detailed and up close. It just seems to be an effortless airbrush to put in your hand and work with. So that's why I've chosen that one today. Runs really nice on very low pressure, and that's how I wanted to work this portrait today. It's just really low pressure. Now, the paper that we're using, because some people go, oh, you're using sort of primed or gessoed paper. This is just a standard cheap A3 cartridge paper. So there's no sort of erasing you can do on this, or like the little scratch back and all the little techniques that you use in your sort of photorealistic work. This is just straight airbrushing down on a piece of budget cheap pad paper that you can pick up from your sort of local stores in your high street. And it's just, I just find this one, it's got that nice little bit of absorption that you want. So when you are spraying thin paint, you don't get blowout on the paper like you would on a synthetic paper or aluminium board. It just gives you that little bit of confidence to spray on, and you can enjoy it. And that's what you want to do. You want to enjoy the surface you're working on instead of really struggling on something that you're not used to at the minute as a beginner. If you go in on something really smooth, you're just going to create problems, because it is a challenge until you progress. And then you can start changing your substrates and having a little play. So that's the brush, that's the paint. I always say to you, put a test piece of paper to the side so you can test your brush. You get your flow right with your air pressure, get your paint right, and then you're good to go. You can see it there on your white piece of paper. So then when you move on to your piece of artwork and commit, it's not going to go everywhere. You're not blasting out too much air and your paint's not thick and grainy. You've got it bang on sorted here first, and then you commit. Another thing that people have been asking about is, how do I get the image across? Projector. For me, it is the most simplest way of getting your artwork across. As you can see, I've got this one on a tripod. This isn't an expensive projector. I'll leave a link in the description to this one. It's a cheap one, but it works really well and gets the job done. Now, on the back of this, at the back, you've got your power in. You've got your on and off button here. You've got HDMI, USB. Now, I don't use any of these. All I do is go into the menu screen on the projector, mirror your iPhone or your Android phone to your TV. It's the same thing. You'll just mirror the image that you've got on your tablet, mirror it across to your projector, and then that will project up. So we've got that pointing at this now. You just move your projector back, and I pinch and pull on the tablet screen to size it up. I set this at a certain distance, around 5 or 6 feet away. Pinch and pull on the tablet, and then on top of the projector here, you can scroll your zoom or your focus in and out. it's like a pair of binoculars where you do that and you just focus in and out on the lens, and that's what you do on the projector there. So it's simple. So once you've got it set up, you'll have your image coming across. So you sit to one side of it, whether you're left or right handed, you'll sit out of the projection light that comes across, so you can see the image, and then you just put one arm in and just start to pencil around, looking like that, and then moving away, and the image is still there. You just move in and you are penciling in the sort of details, not every single detail. You're not penciling in all the shading shadows on the face. You're penciling like the lips, where the lips are, the nose markings, where the eyes are, the eyebrows are, and I just do pencil shapes of where the hair's going. So if it's a shape that goes round that way, you pencil a couple of lines just to give you a guide to follow. So I'll do that for the hair. Everything else I'll line out, but very lightly. And that's how you get your image across. And then you can just work from a printout, or I've got a monitor screen. This is just like a 19-inch LED TV that's got a USB port in the back. So I transfer my images to a USB stick off the laptop, plug it into the TV, scroll through the settings on the back to select USB, and then just bring your images up. And then you can set your picture settings, you can adjust your tones and things like that on your TV. And it just freezes the picture and it'll just stay on the screen. So I just work from that. And you've got zoom features on the telly. So I can go like zoom 1, zoom 2 and zoom sort of 3. And it just enlarges the picture on this 19-inch like LED monitor screen. And I can just work from that. That's on a bracket. So I can now move this TV to where I want and then just look across and work from there. So it's as simple as that, guys. If you cannot afford a projector and you've got a printer at home, you could print this piece of artwork out. Now I know this is A3, and to get an A3 printer it will cost you more to buy an A3 printer than it would to buy a projector. So that's why I say go down the projector route, because it works out cheaper than an A3 printer. But if you have got an A3 printer, or if you're up for airbrushing this A4 size, so it'll bring it right down, so the details are just going to come up a lot more smaller. If you can work that size A4 and your printer's A4, all you've got to do is print her out in draft. So draft on a printer, it uses less ink. It doesn't put such a bold image down. You'll get your outline of you'll get the picture, but it will just be a very light copy of it. So it saves your ink. Print one out, flip it over. Cheapest way to do it, get yourself a HB pencil, lay your printout on a flat surface and pencil over the back. So you're penciling over the opposite side of the print on the white side, and just put loads of pencil on it, flip it over, place that over your piece of white paper that you're going to paint the picture on, pin it with some masking tape, and then pencil round the outlines that way. And then when you move that picture away, you've got the outline what I've got here. You've got exactly the same thing. It will just transfer the pencil across. So that is a cheap way of doing it. And I've always said you can use a product called Tracedown. Now Tracedown is basically what we've just done. We've done it the cheaper way, penciling it, but if you get Tracedown, it's a sheet of, it looks like greaseproof paper that's got graphite on it, a mass of graphite on the back. And you do the same thing. You would put your white piece of paper like this, pin your Tracedown over the top of that, and then get your printout, pin that over the top of the Tracedown, and then pencil over the image. And as you've got the 3 layers, you've got your original white layer that you're painting on, your Tracedown goes next, and then you've got your image here. You pencil on that one, and with the pressure you press down, it just pushes through and it puts the outline across from the Tracedown. So it's doing the same thing as you doing pencil on the back. Now Tracedown can cost up to £8 for a couple of sheets, so it can be expensive when you can get HB pencils, dirt cheap, print your piece of copy paper out, pencil on the back and do it that way. So it's entirely up to you guys. I've done all the routes of this. I've done projector, I've done Tracedown, and I've done penciling over the back, and I still use all three when I need to. But it's very rare I go down them routes when I've got a projector. I will always stick to that because it's just an easy, quick setup. If you're working and doing wall art, you want to go down sort of murals and things like that, the projector is the way to go. If you want to do a bedroom wall for your child and put a nice piece of artwork on a bedroom wall, projector. Just find your artwork, pull the projector back, blow it up, pencil all your outlining on the wall and just crack on an airbrush. So that's why I always choose that, is projector. So this is the one we're doing today. It is a female. She's got like sort of curly hair. She's holding sort of like a lollipop in one hand, sort of like a vintage look, and want to give this with the sepia in one tone. Quite a nice piece. As I say, I blew this up on the A3 and we're good to go. Other products we're going to use is going to be shields. Now, it's good to learn and practice to work with shields because there are times you cannot get perfect, crisp edges with an airbrush. There are times when you need to use a shield to create that very sharp line or edge, or if you need to do a sharp line and do a fade off of a sharp line. These are the ways you're going to do it, guys, and it's shields. A lot of this, the hair textures are all going to be freehand airbrush, dagger stroked, airbrushed in. But then when you're coming around pieces like the side of the face, bits in the eyes, bits on the lollipop here, the straight bits at the bottom of the lollipop stick, you're going to need to create these sharp lines and sharp edges. So shields, curved shields, just random shapes. That's all you need. You can cut these out of Christmas cards and birthday cards. Just cut some random small little shapes that sort of look like that and you will be good to go. I've got Melee ones. Melee ones are good because they last and you can wipe them off with solvent. So it's just a shield that's going to last you through your career. Once you get one decent set, it will just last you because you can clean them with solvent and get the paint off, because you will get a build-up of paint on your shields. When you do use shields, and this is recommended, guys, if you've sort of just gone round an eye or round a jawline and you've sprayed, you've got wet paint on that shield. Now there's times I've done it when you're getting into the zone and you're painting, you will spray, you'll have a lot of wet paint on there, and then you need the opposite side of the shield. You're going to go, not thinking, you will flip it, go like that, hold it up, and then you're transferring paint, wet paint from one side, you've flipped it over because you need the opposite angle, and then you put that paint straight on the shield. So if you've got your kitchen towel to hand, if you've done a lot of paint and you've sprayed a lot of paint, you can see the wet on the shield, just give it a wipe off and blow it and just dry it off before you reuse it. Because I've done this in the past where it's had wet paint on it, you hold it up to the piece of paper and then you get a dirty grey, it looks like a scar on the woman's face. You've just put a dirty grey paint line on your piece of artwork. So taking your time, checking and double checking what you're doing when you go along on your piece of artwork will save you going through headache mistakes and then trying to correct them as you go along. So keeping your sort of products that you use as you paint as clean as possible, and this goes for your brush as well, because we can all sit there, spray, getting into it, spray, and then the next minute you get tip dry, it builds up, you go back to your artwork, press the trigger and wallop. You instantly give her 1,000 freckles in one pass with the airbrush, and it's like, oh no, I've ruined it, now I've got to try and fix it. And then you go in to try and fix it, and the first thing you do is doff a load of white paint over it to try and cover up all the crap that you've made. So if you just take your time, keep your airbrush clean, Keep your shields clean. Make sure your airbrush paint before you start. Practice on your test panel with the right paint flow, the right air pressure. You won't get these mistakes. You just smash the artwork out, start to finish, no mistakes, no mistakes. And that's how you've got to try and work that nice, efficient, straight in, smash the work out, next one, and then go on to the next one and go on to the next one. If you can airbrush like that, continuous, and get continuous good workflow coming out, you'll just go on to artwork and you'll just start smashing artwork out, and it'll become easier and easier and easier because you're following the basic guidelines of keeping all your products clean, keeping your paint clean, mixed paint, testing it there, keeping the front of your brush clean, and just doing them little checks as you do a piece of artwork. It will become easy and you will enjoy it, and you won't go through them frustrating bits where the paint's too thick, the air pressure's wrong, you're not keeping your shields clean, you're not keeping your brush clean. It's all down to you guys. So I'm going to move you in closer on this step by step. As I say, looking forward to this one because we are doing it in sepia, so it's going to be really cool. You can get some real nice shades with this FW ink. I looked at a piece that I did a while back, which is this one here. It's on the channel, guys, if you wanted to have a look at it. And this was a sepia portrait, very small, in that tone, and you can get some really nice colour change with this sepia, the FW sepia mixed with the isopropanol. Now, mixing, people have asked about mixing your FW inks. Why do you use isopropanol and why don't you just use water? Now, I sort of just come across using the isopropanol through another artist that I met, and I thought I'll try it. Now, isopropanol alcohol is less dense than water. Water is a lot denser. So you will notice this when you do a FW mix of ink with a couple of drops of water and then over reduce it with ISO in your pot. Put it in your pot and do that, and you will see how, trying to think of the word, it'll solidify, like very, very, it flows. It just, you do that and it is so the flow on it is incredible. So when you put it in your brush, you will notice your brush will come alive when you really thin it out. You will literally touch your trigger and it will feel like you are just pressing down on your brush. You haven't really got to pull back because the paint is so thin, it just instantly flows out the brush really nice. And the FW tends to hold, when you over thin it, it still holds its pigment really well. It's got a strong pigment, the FW has. So when you even thin it out, you can work it like a transparent, even though it's an opaque, and you can just build it up. And you'll see that in this today. We can get the dark tones just by overlaying that one colour. And then if you want some real light ones, you can just back off and you can really put this paint down very, very light. So we'll move in closer. I'll do a bit of airbrushing and then you're going to see a pause, and then I'll sort of, if I'm doing one eye, I'll take you through one of the eyes and then you'll see the next one done and I'll talk you through what I've done. I'll sort of jump through, as the pitch is going to take way too long and the portrait's going to take too long, but I'll do you a section at a time. If I'm doing a bit of hair, I'll take you through the hair and you'll see how I'm doing it. I'll talk to you how I'm doing it, and we'll just move around the portrait like that until it's done. And then we'll have a little chat at the end. So let's crack on. Right guys, we are going to make a start. Got the custom micron set up. We've dropped some of the FW into the brush and we're just going to do a little test. Now, this is what I mean by this paint. You can see how tight that's getting down. So we've got a real nice mix. Now the mix in my bottle, drop that pressure down, it's thinned out already. So I've done like a mix in this bottle of ink, sort of just half the bottle up and done like ink, then water, and then ISO. So it's like, if you split this bottle into 3 sections, that's how I've filled it, with the ink and then the water and then the ISO to the top. And then I've just thinned this out again. I've basically put like 4 or 5 drops of that mix in here and then just filled the ISO up sort of to the cup to around here. And that seems to be flowing really nice, atomising really well, really is. So we can now crack on. So I'm going to paint going on one of the eyes for a start. I'm just going to go in and work the centre of the eye, just drop a bit of colour in. And this, the centre of the eye is dark, so we're just going to build it up and go dark on the centre of the eye. Get one of the shields and just go round this part of the eye here and just put a pass around the eye just to put that sharp edge in, like that. And just work around the eye. The beauty of working with this, with the Monochrome, you can get the real tight details down really easy with this brush, especially when you've got a thin mix in there. You can just work it and build it up. Drop a little bit under the eye, drop a little bit of paint, just backing off with the brush. Dark section here, so we just drop that in. Just put a little fade out above the, just below the eyebrow, because you've got a little fade sort of there. And this line here is darker. A little bit here, just a little line. Or a little bit of shadow coming around there. And just keep your eye, when you break your images down like this, just keep an eye on, no pun intended, where you're working, because you're working in a little small area, so you just got to concentrate on that little area. You've not got to worry too much. About anything else, you're just on one spot. This is what I mean, can get overwhelmed by bits on portraits. Very easily. just going to shield this bit off here. And this bit here. Shield the nose off and just drop a little tone coming down this bit here. Like that. Move on to the eyebrows. Now, I just sort of do a light pass over the eyebrow, put a base colour underneath, like that, and then go over the top again and just do a darker pass. And that's when you can put your sort of hair textures in, the eyelashes in, eyebrow hairs. Like that. Fade a little bit up there, a bit of paint, a little bit underneath. Just go a little bit darker on these. So you're just going back over again to darken it up. Like that. So we've got the eye in. Probably got a little bit darker on these bits round here. Sink these darks in. Around here. Like that. So that's that piece in. So that's one eye done. We'll follow round this part of the face and we'll just drop a bit more tone in here. Coming round. And just find the shield edge that works for you. Drop a tone in. I'm going to set that to about there. We'll come up here with a bit of tone. I'm not worried about it going into the hairline. Over the forehead here. This is what I mean by this paint. You can just back off and just put it down really light. So that's how I've sort of worked that eye in. You can get your Posca paint pen now. I know this is a monochrome portrait, but to pop highlights out where you want them, just drop your Posca in. Got a little bit of white here on this eye. Just blend that in. A little bit whiter under here. Blend that, there's a little bit here. Blend that in. So that's the eye in. I'll get the other eye in. So you've seen I've done that. I'm just going to go exactly the same way around this one, do that one, and I'll see you in a minute. Right, there you go guys, we've got the other eye in. So just basically went the same sort of way, started off in the pupil at the centre, worked out, dropped a little bit of tones in, and then to finish off, we'll just pop the highlight out of the Posca paint pen, like that. We've got a little bit down here, a little bit brighter here. Drop that in. There's a couple of little specks at the top. And we can go back in on this. If we need to go a little bit darker, a little bit later, we can do. So we're going to drop the next eyebrow in. So same again. I'm just going to do a pass over the top, like a base, like that, and then just drop some hairs over the top. Little dagger strokes, but go in the same way. So you've got your base colour, just dust over the top and just tone it back. That'll do. A little bit more here. Like that, and then we can just drop a little bit of tone up into that hairline. Like that. Start coming round this part of the face, round here. Build it up, coming round this part of the side of the face, around the bottom, like that. That's just dropped a little bit of paint in. Right, we'll move on to the nose. I'm just going to work this dark in straight away. Just you could use a shield for this, but like that. And we've got that little crease at the side of the nose. So find your shape. Just put it in place, just a little bit of paint for a start. Work round. Coming round a little bit here. I think I'm missing bits on my image. Just build it up nice and light. Like that. Go darker in here. Like that. A bit darker around here. Come into the bottom of this layer and just drop this dark in. fade that out. Put this little crease in the corner, just pop that in there. A bit more on this nose here. And a bit more around here. To blend a bit in. Like that. Got some little beauty spots, just drop them in place. Need a little bit more. Shading around here. Just going in very light, building the layers up. Right, we've got that bit sort of in. We can come darker in here, between this line here, a little bit more. Definitely got a darker band here. And just roll that off into this bit. Up into that. I don't mind getting any in that. In the hairline. Don't worry about spraying into the hairline. Very light bit there, light bit there. Right, we'll move on to the mouth. Just start dropping this in. The first thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to go in on these, around these teeth. Just get these darks in. Building the layers up. Dusting over these teeth a bit. Just working it and working it up. We're getting there. Yeah. Like that. Yeah, we're about there on that. Can always add if we need to add. Going around just toning it up. Little pass around there. Yeah, we're going to go with that. A little bit more on that crease. A bit darker in here. Yeah, so we got that in, and then we can, I mean these lips have got to go darker. Get the Posca again, and then just drop the little bits of highlight that you need on these. Where you need them. Do a little bit around here. And get the eraser and just knock out the lines that we don't want. Any in there that you don't want, just take them out. Like that. Yeah, I'm happy with that. So that's that bit sort of in so far. What we'll do now is we'll work the toning on the neck next. So I'm just going to get some paint in here. Just get some in there. Moving down onto this neckline. And then we just shield off best we can. Just come away from that shield. Like that. Down here. A nice sort of start on this here, and we'll just do a dark off the bottom of the ear. Like that. Go off the corner here. Just work this down a bit. Coming round this. Here. Just work around. Just need to get this a little bit sharper. Around here. A little bit more. Like that, and then just run this one off sort of down here. It's like a dark pass down here. That comes down to there. It's got another one there. Fades up. Like that. Drop a little bit more of a tone in, just roll that out a bit. Darker at the back of this neckline here. I mean by this sepia, you can just build it to what you want. Can drop that in darker a bit later. Just a little bit more. Darker in here. Like that. So that's the neck in for now. If we need to darken it up later, we can. So all that's basically left now is the top, the ear, the hair, the lollipop, and then we can just go back in and just keep working it and working it. If we need to add a little bit more, just add a little bit more in this eye here. Just in here. Darken some bits off. Just looking round at bits. Some more little darks over the eyebrows. Just go back over. If you want to darken it up, just go back over it. Like that. Right. Right guys, so we got that part of the neck in, and we've got a few unwanted little lines, so we'll just nib them out now. Just knock them back. Like that. And we're going to work this top in quickly now. We'll just buzz this in quick. So, a little bit of tone. Round here. Just work it in. Just going to go in on these lightly. Like that. Spraying onto the shield and just reverse it round, just do the opposite side, just fill the gap in. That's all we're doing. Any unwanted pencil lines, we can oink them out with the eraser. Just backing off about 3 or 4 inches, just puffing the paint in. A little bit at the top here, just do a little bit at the top, job done. I've got a light one here, just a little bit of paint. I've got one here, a line, coming round, one underneath it, sort of here. Just drop your shield in, puff a bit of paint in. Round on these, just going to go light on these, do these freehand. Minimal paint. A little bit of tip dry. A little shaded one there. And a shadow just underneath the back, and we've got a line here. Like that. Another one here, goes sort of darker here. So a couple of passes and then one sort of light pass backing off a bit, following in between the lines. Same with this one, a bit darker. And then just fade it. A line sort of here, around there. Coming down this bit. So I've not got all, I'm looking at the full image on the screen. So I've just got some light ones here. And here, just going in. I don't mind if it's not that sharp, because it's not that sharp on the image. A couple of little lines there. A little bit here. A little line that comes sort of goes along here like that to that. Faint one there. That's about it for the top. There's not much in it really. Not much at all. Right, we'll just get rid of some of these lines. This will soften it up again now. There's that one at the back. I can just drop that one back in. Like that. Go around that one a bit. Just make this a little bit darker under here. Sharpen these up again. Just pop these out a bit. Nice and light. Beauty of the Micron, you can just drop that little bit of paint where you need it. Add a little bit more to these. Right, that'll do for the top. Right, we've got the hand. Now, I'm just going to go freehand straight in on this and just drop some colour in. There's some weird shapes in here. I've not got the whole hand here. I've only got a bit of it. That'll do for the hand. That's enough on the hand. There's not much on it really. Right, onto the stick. Just going to put that straight in there. Just drop that tone coming down like that. And we can work down that. Sharpen that up. Like that. So that's the bottom of that in. Get rid of any unwanted pencil lines on the hand. Any more on the top, and go back in if need be. A bit around here. Drop that in there. There. Just got to roll them a bit more. Like that. Off a little bit more here. Like that. Like that. We can move on to this bit. I'm just going to go straight in, sort of freehand on this. Just look where I'm going. And then we'll sharpen the edge up in a minute. Just going to drop some tones in. Just keep it nice and light. A little bit of tip dry. Just towel. A little bit in here. Build them up. round like that. Just give it a tone. On that. That's about do. Let that dry down. A little bit darker underneath here. Just hold the shield and just come away from that. That'll do there. Let that dry. Just nib out. Unwanted lines. Like that. It's just working really nice. The beauty of this FW inks, you can just really work it light. Can put a sharper line on this hairline in a minute. But that's that bit in. Right guys, so we've got that bit in so far. Now what we're going to do is we're going to work on the upper part, which is the hair. We'll first start off with the ear. We'll work the ear in. Just move that round. I've still not filled the... Oh, I've literally just took the cup off and I've got to fill up with some more sepia. So I'm just going to go a bit more sepia and ISO, back bubble it, spray it and then just test here again, just see how. Pull that through. Now we've got a nice consistent again. So I'm going to work this ear in. So I'm just going to get some paint in here first. Start dropping a tone in. And there, drop some paint in. Just work it nice and light. Like that. Get a few of these little hair strands in while we're here as well. They sort of come down. My hair's going to be different on the strands, but it will look near as damn it the same once it's in. Drop a few hair strands in, dagger strokes. little tone underneath, and then drop some over the top. So we've got that sort of bit in. Do these hair strands coming around here. Just nice and light, follow them. Like that. We'll just erase out what we don't want in a minute. Shield that ear off because we've got a dark above this ear, just up here. Just shield that off and just get the paint in. Like that. A little bit more and just come away from that shield. Do some light flick outs with a brush. Do some nice little lines coming round. Darken that off in there. Hair strands. Dot some paint in. Like that. Got some very light ones here. I'll just drop them in. Whispery ones, a few coming up here. I'm just going to work this hair in. As I say, mine isn't going to look identical. It will look alright. Shield that one off because we want dark around there. In here. Just blend some of this out, just darken this out here. Going to go in loose and then just darken bits off as we need to. I'm trying to keep some of the white there because it's lighter in places. Like that. Move over to this front piece. Follow the shapes. Nice little controlled sort of dagger strokes. Shield this one here. Drop the tone in there and here. A little bit more. Just going to go in light on all this hair. Stand up for this bit. Little dagger strokes, point to point. This is why you need your dagger strokes down when you're doing stuff like this. Two hands on the brush, a little bit of control. Just going to shield that off to get that dark in. Shield this way to get that dark. A bit more tone around here. On that. And a bit darker coming off these bits. As long as you've got a few pencil lines in, just so you can get the shapes and follow the shapes. That's all you got to do. As I say, it's a different, my hair's slightly different, but the shapes are going the right way. So when you look at it and stand back, it'll just look like the image because you've just followed the shapes. So your eyes just follow it from the reference when you look at it. You can just keep building this up. Like that. That'll do for now. Just putting a little bit of paint in. Let's move on to this bit here. See how these are going. Just some light ones around here. And we'll just get rid of the pencil lines in a minute. few little ones coming out here. A few strands going up there. A little dark bit in there. Got here, this one's going this way. Shield that, just tap up there. Some finer strands in. Some coming round this way, little dark pass under here. Bit of tip dry. Work round. Just going to do some whispery ones around here. Shield the face and just come straight off the shield and just drop some bits coming off the side. And then just start to detail it out. Shield the side of the face. A few darker ones in here. Just start to build it up now. Darken it off. So just dagger strokes, that's all you've got to do, and work around it, and just got to be a little bit fast on the trigger. Working round. But it gets to look like what you want in the end, just by building them up. Bit coming round here. A bit more fade in here, some of these little ones again. Start building these up, darkening them out. As I say, it's not mirror match, but the shapes of it go the right way. I'm just going to knock out some of these unwanted pencil lines. Don't need them anymore, so just take them out. Because the hair's in place, we don't need them anymore, not there anyway. Just get rid of them. And that just softens it up again, just takes that pencil out. And just softens the hairline up, especially around these bits where you've come around here and you wanted that soft look in the hair. You've now got it because you've took that pencil line out. Stay on the ear, get rid of them bits on the ear. And I'll just soften that up. So last bit to do, we'll just concentrate on this bit here. So just do some nice light tones around there. Bits around here. And there. Some light passes. That's looking a bit like it. A little bit of this top bit here. Let me just move you up a bit so you can see that top piece that I'm on now. Just working this bit round here, so just nice and light, follow the shapes, just basically putting a tone in because there's not much as in hair strand here, you're just going, building bits darker and lighter. A few more here. These out a bit. More in here. Like that. There's a few little bits coming round like that. There's a few up here just dotting out. A few around here. A few little bits there. We shall call that one done. We'll just get rid of the unwanted pencil lines. Like that. We're going to sharpen the back of that neck up. Just tone that neck a little bit. Tone in there, a bit more around there. Take some of them around a bit. A little bit of dot there. That'll do. You know. Not bad. And you can just go around adding now, just to give the hair a little bit more depth. In places. Tighter strand in there. Like that, a bit more in here. Yeah. Like that. I'm going to call that one done, guys. I really am, because I can just keep going over and over and over. Right, any little bits of highlight, there's a little bit there, I'll just drop on the ear. There's not much more really. Can't really do much more with the hair because you're using the white of the paper underneath. So we got it down quite quick. We could spend more time on this and just keep tweaking it and adding more to the hair, but I just like that light, soft look of it. You know, the hair's in place, the shapes are in the place that they need to be. As I say, the hair textures are, there's probably more on the original image, but the shapes are going the right way. So when you look at it, you think, yeah, and you look at your reference, job done. So never beat yourself up if your hair has not got mirror match strands to the reference. As long as you're following the same sort of shapes as what you've got, job done, go with it. A few more coming round. As I say, with hair, when you're doing it like this, with no erasing, you can just keep building it up because you're going in light. Every time you go over it, you're just giving it that next dark pass, the next dark pass on each tone as you go over. A few more little whispery hairs we'll put in here. Back of the neck. Like that. Job done. We'll leave it at that. There you go, guys. We got it down in the end. Sort of a quick one. You've seen how sort of quick I buzz the hair out. We could add more to the hair, but I think that's enough. It gives you the shapes of what the hair looks like. They're going in the right direction. And we could go in and start darkening out more of these bits, but I think the darks just sort of match across. It was just a nice one to work with. The sepia is brilliant colour to work in. It really is with the FW inks. Thinned out, you can thin it right out so you can hit these fine hairlines just by touching the trigger, just touching the Monochrome trigger, and you will hit that consistent all the time. So going in working on these little tight details around the eyes, the little eyelashes, it's really easy with the Monochrome with that thin mix, and then it just lays the paint down how you want it, so you can get them real soft shades coming around on the face and just build it up. So a brilliant colour to work in with the FW mixed with the ISO. Nice one to do. Just need to go in and knock out any unwanted lines that you don't want after. And just build it up nice and light and enjoy it, guys. That's all we got to do. So the links are in the description if you wanted to give it a go. We've run low PSI, hardly any tip dry. I'd say 1 full cup of paint to do that, mixed. I mean, I topped it up. I didn't have much in the first. I've got a teeny bit left in the cup. It just lasts and lasts because you are working these type portraits really, really light and just building them up. It's just really nice. And it was like hardly any tip dry as you've seen with that mix. It's like, that's like a clean test piece to the side. Just kept airbrushing and airbrushing and airbrushing. And that's what I like about it. You can just go in, smash a piece of artwork out with a nice thin mix, a brush that you can rely on that's going to do the job, and you get it down. So I hope you've picked up some bits up along the way. As I say, links in the description to the bits we've been using, the FW ink, the brush, the ISO will be in there. This reference picture, I'm sure I've got the link to it. If not, I've got to try and hunt for this picture again for the link for you guys. But if you bear with me on the links, they'll either be up in the video straight away or they'll be up a bit later on, but they will be in the description in the end. So thanks for watching. Thanks for all your support with the channel. Drop your comments, tell me your thoughts, and I'll see you in the next step by step. Cheers, guys.